Have you ever found yourself in a dilemma where you've given a lot of money to something and you decided to keep going because, well, I already gave this much, I might as well just go all in? Or a situation where you put in a lot of time into a project and you were like, well, I'm at this point now, I might as well just go ahead and finish. Well, my friend, if you have experienced this, then you are no stranger to the sunk cost fallacy. The sunk cost fallacy is a cognitive bias where individuals continue an endeavor even when it is no longer beneficial, due to the perception that they have already invested resources into it. The fallacy is often linked to psychological biases, which make it difficult to walk away from the situation, even when it is clear that doing so would be rational. You may have experienced sunk cost fallacy when you decided to roll on a gacha banner that you've been waiting on forever, and after many pulls you still haven't gotten the card you so desired. Well, I already spent all these diamonds, I might as well just go ahead and buy some more to get the card. And in that moment is when the rationale completely leaves your head. But you're not alone. It left mine too. It left my head for a total of 4 days. This is a story about how I ignored rationale and lost something much more valuable than money: time. To those of you who are new to my channel, hello, I'm Fortune4, or you can just call me Fortune. I am a YouTuber who covers mainly D4DJ and D4DJ Groovy Mix. D4DJ Groovy Mix is an anime rhythm gacha game. In this rhythm game, every week or so there is a new event going on in the game. There are various events involving many different units and characters, and it turns out we have an event that's going over this side characters that's called Arisugawa Student Club Council. The Arisugawa Student Club Council is a side story that goes along with one of the main story units called Lyrical Lily. Their whole story takes place in an all-girls Catholic school called Arisugawa Academy. Though their story today is not the main topic of this video, this unit plays a significant role in this story. In these events that happen in the game, there is an aspect of them called tiering. Tiering is when you play the game for as much as you want or as much as you can in order to reach the rank that you want. People who play a lot often go for rank 1. There is a thing called whales, and whales are people who spend money on video games and get a lot of the nicer rewards, which makes it easier for them to get higher ranks. And then there's the people who don't spend as much, such as myself, where we have to try and give more time to get the results that we want. I'm sure you can see where this is going. Well, this Arisugawa Student Club Council event was like no other. This time, something was different. As opposed to your typical tiering where you just play as much as you can to get your desired rank, there was some incentive involved in getting people to play the game. Well, they announced that they would be giving away a prize to the ranks 1 through 10 and prizes randomly selected from ranks 11 to 100. When I heard this news at first, I was a tiny bit skeptical. What do you mean they're finally giving away a prize after I just dropped my video about how the game could possibly be flopping? They're finally going to give something to the players? Inconceivable. I decided to take a look at exactly what they were giving away, and while these rewards may not seem like a lot to you, apparently it's a lot to them, because these rewards were included in a VIP ticket in a concert that happened in Japan that was revolving around Lyrical Lily. They have concerts too, guys. It's not just a game. So because these rewards were included in such an elite ticket, I knew that they had to at least be worth $100. A prize just for getting rank 10 in the game? Easy as pie. I decided I was going to attempt to tier and get top 10 in the Arisugawa Student Club Council final event. I hopped on my game and arranged my team multiple times to make sure I could get the highest scoring team possible. I watched multiple tiering guides that weren't even for D4DJ because the only tiering guide for D4DJ is my own video. So I did take some tips from other people just in case I missed something and needed to remind myself on some things. I went ahead and put my cards in the growth section of the game, which is where you can make your cards more powerful over time, slowly, so slowly. And I went ahead and decided I was going to do what I needed to do to get top 10. In D4DJ events, there is a free card that you can receive just by playing the game. The free card this time was of Haruna Kasuga, and you could attain her card once you got 500,000 points. You would obtain a copy of the card once you got 1,000,000 points. I thought to myself, Once I get 1,000,000 points and get the second copy of Haruna, it'll be so much easier to tier. Oh, was I so wrong. Turns out Haruna was not enough to give me all the event points that I wanted to keep me in the higher rankings. After mulling over it for a good hour, I decided I was going to roll the lyrical reverse gacha. Before rolling the gacha, I had 40,000 free diamonds. After rolling the gacha, I had around 17,000 diamonds. On 100 rolls, the game will finally give you a guaranteed 4-star. I was lucky enough to get Kurumi and Miko twice in that 100th roll, though I wish I could have got them beforehand so I wouldn't have spent as much diamonds. Now that I had these cards though, I was pretty sure I'd be able to get higher ranking, and it'd be easier for me to score in the event. But then I started to get a bit greedy. I wanted more. I decided to give it 2 more rolls on the gacha, and that costed me 6,000 more free diamonds. I did not get cards on those rolls. And if you know anything about D4DJ, it is extremely hard to get free diamonds after you've been playing for a while. This had marked one of the first regrets I made during this event. I settled with the cards I got and was happy that I could finally get a decent score while playing in the event. I rearranged my team multiple times still even after getting these cards, and so I set my main team to Haruna, Airi, Kurumi, and Miko. As the event started on a Thursday night, I played the game for the entire night and the entire day on Friday, and I ended day 1 on 5,350,708 points. I was feeling good about this point gain. I only needed to get 5,000,000 points a day just to be sure to get into the top 10. This didn't seem too bad compared to my last tiering feat, so I decided why not? And so, I'm keeping up with my consistent gains, and on day 2 I end with 5,315,617 points. But then the unexpected happens. Turns out people from the lower ranks decided they wanted to go for top 10 too. And when you have more people challenging you, it becomes a lot more difficult to maintain your score. And I knew 5,000,000 wasn't going to cut it this time. And so I started getting worried about the team I had. They weren't gaining me enough points to keep up with what was going on. I either needed to play more or I needed to buy something, and I did not want to buy anything in order to receive a free prize. So, you guessed it, I played more. Instead of my regular 5,000,000 points a day, this time on day 3, I had 7,618,132 points. Because the team I was using in the first 2 days was not helping me, I knew I needed to make another change. I noticed another player who wasn't tiering like I was had a Street 4-star Miyu card. I've seen that card before. I saw it in the Gacha Gauge ticket exchange. But I had enough tickets to get that card. However, I was saving it for a different card that I wanted, but I knew I needed to get enough event points so I could score the score that I wanted. So should I have got the Miyu card or got the card that I wanted? I ended up getting the Miyu card because I wanted those points. And so I placed that card on my team, and what do you know? Because the card had a parameter of heart instead of physical like the event needed, it was not scoring me the amount of points that I wanted. And mind you, those Gacha Gauge tickets take a good while to save up because I'm not someone who typically rolls Gacha in order to get a lot of tickets from those. And so because the card wasn't doing me any justice, I decided to switch back to my 3-star Miyu CP card that did have a physical parameter in place. In order to get that extra 2,000,000 points, I needed to stay on top of my grind. So there wasn't any time for eating or taking a break or sleeping. No, I needed to play the game. And even if your fingers hurt, maybe you can auto a couple of games, but if you auto too much, you'll easily fall behind. Because of course, other players aren't playing on manual. I stayed up at odd hours just to be able to catch my opponents going to sleep too. And when I caught them, I would be sure to manual so I could pass them up by a lot of points. Because if I made a big enough gap, it would be harder for them to catch up. I was making up imaginary rivalry with these players that I never even seen on the boards before. I was 17 million points into this event. That took a lot of time. And like I mentioned, it's only harder because I don't pay for extra upgrades for my cards. But I didn't care about any of that stuff. I didn't need a break. All I knew is that I wanted the prize from this event and that they were going to give it to me. I made it very clear that I wanted this prize. I even did a live stream that I did private for now. I'll probably republish that later, where I was determined on getting rank 10 and finishing this event strong. Day 4 came around and it was no different from day 3. I grinded my tail off, went, and I got 7,259,202 event points that day. It was another day of no sleeping and barely any eating. It's a miracle I even bothered to stay hydrated. When I needed to shower, I put my phone in a plastic bag, I went on auto, and I pressed the next buttons to make sure that I wasn't leaving any idle time, even if I wasn't gaining enough points during that. I had to make sure in no scenario there was an opportunity for the players below me to catch up to me and beat my score. I wanted to stay consistently either 9 or 10 throughout the event. Though I did reach 8 a couple of times, the players above me were super strong and had much more powerful cards that definitely left me in the lower top 10 rankings. I was constantly making sure that I didn't fall behind. I was autoing while eating, autoing in the car, autoing in the shower, staying up until 1 a.m. manualing the game and waking up at 3 a.m. to keep on manualing the game. And when I could feel myself getting exhausted, I would auto until I'd essentially pass out. What I'm telling you now can't even equal up to all the time that I put into this darn game. I am definitely giving you the condensed version because who wants to go over how many times I've played Cat's Eye? I woke up at around 4 a.m. to begin my next day in tiering. I could definitely feel the effect of tearing on my shoulders as that was the body part that was in the most pain, as I needed to slightly hunch over in order to hold my phone in my hands to play with my thumbs. I persisted on through the pain and kept grinding until something happened. Someone very close to me had enough of my tearing antics. She mentioned a couple times in passing that I was going a bit too hard with my tearing, but I didn't think anything of it because I was like, well, I know she's just looking out for me, but I need to do what I can to get that prize, so I continued on. But no, it had been 5 days and I just took it too far. While being told about myself and my excessive tearing, I just didn't want to hear it. I was confused. I thought people wanted me to get this prize. If I got this prize, I'd be able to make a great video about it. I'd be able to prove that I can do it and that D4DJ Groovy Mix does owe me and that they do need to give me something to show how they appreciate what I do in their game and with their series. But I was wrong. I was taking it too far. I hadn't realized how it just wasn't worth it. During our dispute, I was told, why don't you just look up the item on Japan eBay? That a thought didn't even occur to me at the beginning of the event. And so I did it. And while it didn't come up on eBay, it came up on Mercari. And it came up for $15.34. I was dumbfounded. It was the worst April Fool's prank ever. How could they be giving away a $15 item while including this in a VIP ticket that's over $100? It was shocking, and it made me realize it wasn't worth the emotions I was causing other people. The people who actually cared about my well-being and wanted to have my company instead of my face buried into my phone for hours on end. I always prided myself on being the more logical one, but what I was doing was completely illogical and completely irrational. I was spending all this time on a game for a prize that was $15. And while the shipping from Japan may cost a pretty penny, it wasn't worth the time I was putting into the game. It wasn't worth the gacha gauge tickets that I used to get that Miyu card. It wasn't worth the diamonds I used to pull on that gacha banner. It wasn't even worth the coins that I accumulated from all the poker hands. It wasn't worth anything. After taking a moment to get over the shock of the price of the item, I put my phone down and I apologized profusely. I wasn't just harming other people, but I was harming myself. I was seeing things and my eyesight was wavery and I just couldn't make out most of the things I was seeing in the corner of my eyes. My eyes ached and my appetite depleted. My hands were numb from pressing the screen so much. It wasn't even fun to play Groovy Mix anymore. I had so many different thoughts come into my head in those few moments. What if I let people down who watch my channel because they wanted to see me get top 10 in such a competitive event? What if I don't have a good video to put out? What if I don't prove that I am a good fan of the game? What if all of what I used was all for nothing? But then it hit me. This is in-game currency. While it takes forever to get diamonds back, it's not impossible. And all these cards that I want are just PNGs. If I want them, I could print them out. What I made other people and myself feel wasn't worth it. So I started to question, what is genuinely the point of tiering these events? While we may enjoy this game and want to play it because we want to show our love for the series and we have our favorite characters and want to have a collection of them, is it really worth hurting your shoulders and hurting your loved ones because you don't talk to them or don't even eat with them? The answer is no. And so, my tiering experience quickly came to an end. I was happy that it was over. I was happy to finally be passed up by my competitors and be rank 11. Though I wish I genuinely could get all the time I spent back, it's impossible. But what I can do is try to make the now and the future a more positive experience. And so I will definitely be limiting my time on Groovy Mix. I 100% need a huge break after what I experienced on that game. I even joked and said Groovy Mix is just a mastermind and I'm the puppet that they control. Maybe I can go on to more of the franchise side of things rather than Groovy Mix, because D4DJ has truly changed my life. So there we have it. Fortune's tale of virtual sunk cost fallacy and not ever going to get those hours back. In fact, this is how many hours I spent on this game throughout those 5 or 4 days. This is absolutely insane. If you are someone who tiers consecutively, please drop some time management tips because I clearly don't know it. I'm starting to get genuinely concerned for players who play harder than I do because I just do not see the point in spending so much time tiering these events, even if there is a prize involved. I hope you gamers learned a valuable lesson in watching this video. Please do not sacrifice your health for these damn games. They're there to entertain you, not for you to entertain them or their wallets. I'm going to try to relax and get my stamina back and not be so fatigued, and I hope you all have a lovely rest of your days. Fortune of 4 out and asleep. Hey y'all, it's Fortune of 4 after credits. Just wanted to come on and say thank you so much for over 1,000 subscribers and my video sitting pretty right now at 15,000 views. I really am grateful that my video was able to reach a lot of people, and I hope you continue to watch my videos, so thank you so much. Okay, Fortune of 4 out for real this time.